He wasn't trying to get rich. He wasn't dreaming of comfort, power, or a better life. He just wanted to leave. Not the land, not the village, just the condition he was born into. But in medieval times, poverty wasn't something you escaped. It was something the law protected. When people talked about freedom, they spoke quietly. Not because it was dangerous, but because it was pointless. Everyone knew the rule. If you owed money, you didn't move. If you didn't move, you didn't change. If you didn't change, you stayed poor. The system didn't need walls or chains. It used paper, seals, and permissions. This is the story of a man who believed he could leave poverty behind, and learned that the law was designed to make sure he never did. The law wasn't written to sound cruel. It was written to sound reasonable. Anyone who lived on the land owed obligations. Anyone who owed obligations needed permission to leave. Anyone who left without permission became a criminal. It was presented as order. In reality, it was containment. The law didn't forbid travel. It forbade escape. Only those who owed nothing could move freely. And almost no one owed nothing. Debt didn't have to be large. It only had to exist. And missed payment from years ago. A fee inherited quietly. An adjustment added without explanation. Enough to anchor a person in place. The man learned this when he asked a simple question. What would it take to leave? The answer wasn't distance. It was money. He heard stories of other towns. Places where work paid slightly more, where land was less exhausted, where starting over sounded possible. Those stories were dangerous. Hope had a way of spreading. He didn't announce his plan. He didn't tell neighbors. He only asked quietly in the right places about permission. Permission cost money. More money than he had ever held at once. The irony was sharp. You needed money to go somewhere you hoped to finally earn money. Poverty wasn't just lack. It was immobility. The amount wasn't negotiable. It included unpaid obligations, future estimates, and fees for processing. Fees to prove you were no longer a risk. Freedom was treated like a transaction. If he could pay, he could go. If he couldn't, the law would keep him where he was. The system didn't say no, it said pay, and that made refusal feel like failure. He tried anyway, saved where he could, ate less, worked more, sold what little he owned. Every step toward leaving made survival harder. The closer he came to the amount, the more fragile his life became. One illness erased months of effort. One broken tool pushed him back. Escape required perfection. Life never allowed it. When the authorities learned of his attempt, the response was swift. Not violent. Not dramatic. Administrative. He was reminded of his obligations. Warned about unauthorized plans. Charged for wasting official time. Hope itself became expensive. The system didn't punish rebellion. It punished intention. After that, he stopped asking, stopped planning, stopped imagining elsewhere. The law had done its job. He stayed, he worked, he endured, and slowly the idea of leaving faded into something childish. Not because it was wrong, but because it was impossible. That was the truth behind the law. It didn't exist to maintain order. It existed to maintain position. Poverty wasn't accidental. It was enforced. The system didn't need to chase people who tried to escape. It made escape too expensive to attempt. And as long as people believed freedom was something they failed to afford, instead of something denied, the system stayed clean. If you want to understand how money became permission, how laws quietly replaced chains, and how generations were kept exactly where they were born, subscribe. Because this wasn't just one law. It was a design.